Today we're going to talk about 3 ways that you can measure progress without using the scale. In a couple months, we're going to do something here at the gym called our Advanced Nutrition Program. Now, our Advanced Nutrition Program is something that we run and plan to run once a year, and it runs for 10 weeks. And for a lot of people, it's going to mean 10 weeks of more intensive caloric deficit, looking for fat loss. We do it in the spring, leading into the summer, and it's a constrained period of time, and it follows what my opinion is on the subject, which is that I think most people should probably spend a limited amount of time in a caloric deficit every year, whether they're competitive or they're just looking to shed a few pounds. The problem is when we spend too much time obsessing over losing weight, and especially when we're jumping on the scale every week, trying to get our weight to come down, we do that for so long that we lose out on all this valuable time that we could be spent building fitness. That includes building muscle, getting healthier, just getting fitter overall. It's very hard to do all those things when we're not eating enough. And so a constrained period of diet time every year, I think, is a really good idea. Not only because we lose out on the ability to, again, work on our fitness, but because the diet period probably does not, the end of it does not provide the end of what may be a challenging time, because it may take you a few weeks or a month or so to sort of get back into the groove after you've been dieting, to get back to a place where you feel good. So anyway, in the spirit of diet and scale, let's talk about 3 ways you can measure progress that don't involve the scale. The scale is a great way to measure progress, especially if you're going through a specific phase with a caloric deficit and you're looking to lose weight. However, it's not the only way to measure progress, and it's certainly not the end goal for most of us. And if we're looking to keep the goal, as has been said, then what we need to do is remind ourselves of what we actually want to get out of fitness. And for a lot of people, the scale number really doesn't mean very much. So the first way you can measure progress is obviously your performance in the gym. This one I think gets overlooked a little bit for those that aren't athletes, but tracking things like your favorite barbell lifts, tracking your favorite kettlebell lifts, tracking your favorite dumbbell lifts, and especially tracking things like push-ups, chin-ups, other body weight movements that you like to do. This is a great way to sort of measure body composition without directly going to like a body fat measurement machine. You can track how many chin-ups you're doing, you can track some of your favorite barbell lifts, and what you'll notice is that if you're getting stronger, but your body weight movements are also improving, or at least maintaining, then you can rest assured that you're building muscle, but not putting on a bunch of body fat with it. And what this means is that your body composition overall is improving. And of course, that's a good thing. And the other thing with strength, of course, is that it's going to carry over a lot to your everyday life. And the muscle you build is really important, not just for how you look, how you feel, but if you do choose to go to a diet phase at some point, having extra muscle gives you a little bit more to spare. And the second thing that you can use to measure progress that doesn't have to do with the scale is the way your clothes fit. Now, clothing sizes, of course, they're not as incremental as weights, so you can't measure your clothes that precisely. But understanding how your favorite pair of jeans fits, your favorite t-shirts, and it doesn't have to be when you change sizes, it can just be the way that something feels a little bit looser, a little bit tighter, or just fits you in a little bit of a different way. Clothing fit often gets overlooked, but that's a great way to measure progress beyond the scale as well. And the third way is how you feel. This one is, of course, very subjective. There's not many more objective ways to measure this, unless you're wearing like a Garmin or a Whoop or something that's going to measure, some variables in your body. But the way you feel, your overall energy levels versus your fatigue, your hunger versus your satiety, and just the amount of not energy, but the amount of the strength and endurance that you have in your everyday life can be a really, really good indicator of how much progress you're making as well. And that has nothing to do with the scale. These are things that you can track, sometimes a little bit subjectively, but they're things that work beyond the scale that'll provide you a little snapshot for how your fitness journey is going.